1975's Race with the Devil is from the director of Slaughter and Cleopatra Jones. We're already off to a great start. Warren Oates owns a motorcycle dealership, and Peter Fonda is his bike racing buddy. The two of them, along with their special lady friends, head out on a vacation in their brand new $30,000 recreational vehicle. Also on the journey with them is Peter Fonda's cute dog, and goddammit, this being a 70s horror movie means that dog is so dead. Rest in peace in advance, you cute little dog. They just randomly park on someone's land because it looks nice and go camping for a bit, racing their bikes around and doing general camping things. But then that night they see a raging bonfire and what turns out to be a satanic cult dancing around it. When they witness an actual human sacrifice take place, they try to flee, but are immediately spotted and the chase is on. They escape the initial assault thanks in part to Peter Fonda beating cult members off the RV with a vacuum cleaner, and go to the local police, headed up by R.G. Armstrong. The cops are immediately squirrely and dismissive of the whole thing, and so you know what that means, they're a part of it. But then here's the thing, everyone in Texas is apparently part of it, because everywhere they subsequently go, they get stared at and menaced. The mechanism in place to protect 12 doofus Satanists and their human sacrifice crime seems to be insanely intricate. While I'm exaggerating slightly there by saying everyone in Texas is in on it, it also is not that far off. The film might be deceiving us slightly along the way because Fonda's lady friend either has the sight or is the most paranoid person on Earth. She's the one who continues to notice everyone menacing them, and while there are plenty of actual people doing entirely unreasonable things to stop these four witnesses, the numbers might be inflated because of her character's trait. Brief aside, I watched this on Starz, and I believe it's still available on their app at the time of this recording, but I gotta say, I'm extremely disappointed with the faux 2000s box art they decided to use for this thing, which apparently is also being used on a DVD release. Look at these original posters. Look how awesome these look. What kind of grift are these companies trying to pull? This new art is completely disingenuous and nowhere near as appealing. Sell your movie on its merits. Stop trying to fool people. Well, that's my latest rant on things no one cares about and won't even exist in 5 years. Anyway, back to the review. So yeah, the entire Texas population of Satanists kill the cute dog and stock their RV with deadly rattlesnakes, which leads to a super unnerving battle with the snakes that goes on longer than you think it would.
Something! Give me a ski pole!
When that fails, the Satanists up their game, which leads to a stunt spectacular finale that is both intense and awesome as hell. The dog killing set off a bloodlust in me that these last 20 minutes or so really satisfies, as dudes get wrecked.
Hey, you!
Of course, being a horror movie, everything ends badly and predictably, but until that bullshit ending, wow, what a ride. I mean, often in these movies you're secretly rooting for everyone to get killed because they've been made to seem shitty in some way, but I wasn't rooting for any of our four leads to die. They didn't do anything egregious enough to deserve their horror movie fate. They're just upper middle class folks who picked the wrong place to park, that's all. I desperately wanted these stupid hillbilly Satanists to be removed from the planet, and while some of them are indeed on their way to meet their Lord Satan or whatever, there's still too many of them left by the time the end credits roll. A couple of other qualms I had, it's frustrating how underwritten the two female characters are, with one having vague psychic powers that ultimately mean nothing, and the other just being Loretta Swit, and that's all. Also, it's disappointing how much time is spent establishing motorcycles, and then before the finale even begins, the Satanists sabotage them both, and they never play into the movie's ending. Technically, one does get chucked into traffic during one of the car chases, but with as much time as they spend with the two characters on bikes in the first act, it's just bizarre that they are never a part of the film afterwards. And with everyone everywhere seemingly a part of this devil cult, it just seems weird how many times they could have eliminated these four people instead of just pretending they're there to help. When they have to ramp up their efforts in the stunt-infused finale, they could have not lost so many members if they'd just murdered them in the library, or at the swimming pool, or in the honky-tonk bar, or literally anywhere else they go in the first two acts. But qualms aside, Race with the Devil is pretty great. The conflict is compelling and the situations are appropriately terrifying. It's a movie that would probably be broken by 21st century technology, but sometimes that kind of purity makes these classic films even better.
Yeah!